The wait is finally over as we continue our day and night of volleyball. Pitt and Florida have traveled a long way to Madison, Wisconsin to try to lock down a spot in the regional finals. The Gators sprinting out onto the court. Pitt Panthers, a national semifinalist last year. The Stars are here and we're glad you've joined us. Here in Madison, the top 4 seeds have all advanced. We'll have Pitt and Florida first, and then about 30 minutes after this match, it will be Penn State against Wisconsin. Well, we're supposed to have a snowstorm outside later, but it's toasty warm here inside the field house. Hey, everybody. Sam Gore along with Shelby Coppage. I'm interested what you think about the dynamic of these two teams, ACC versus SEC, how it's going to look on the court.
This is a great matchup because of Pitt's offense and Florida's block. Pitt has a very balanced front row. They hit almost 300 in their sweep against BYU at next match. For Florida, they are one of the best blocking teams in the country, best in the SEC in blocks per set. Head coach Mary Weiss for Florida said that's one of our strengths is keeping teams under their average hitting percentage. Going to be a battle at the net today.
So many stars on the court. Who do you have your eye on?
Florida setter Alexis Stuckey, SEC Freshman of the Year. Head coach Mary Weiss said that she's a different breed. She embraces those lonely hours, the gym, and the ball. And for Pittsburgh, Courtney Bazzario, right side, went off against BYU with 23 kills, the most in an NCAA tournament match in modern scoring era. Her coaches say she's not the most vocal leader, but she leads by example and really tests you on those different shots.
So we are set to begin our first regional semifinal here in Madison. Here are the basics. It's a 3 out of 5 set match. The first 4 sets will go to 25, win by 2. If we get to a 5th set, it would be to 15, win by 2. The winner of this match moves on to the last 8 of the NCAA tournament and will play the winner of our upcoming match between Penn State and Wisconsin. Mary Wise, really, she could just go by Mary. She's a legend in coaching, the winningest active coach in the country, over 1,000 wins in her 32nd season at Florida. And Dan Fisher, he brought California cool to Pittsburgh. He has taken Pitt to unprecedented heights, including the national semifinals last year. So we are in good hands. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Welcome to the field house. Here we go. Merritt Beeson to serve. Florida in the orange uniforms, Pitt in the white. Stuckey goes for the block, but Bazzario tools, and it is Pitt who scores first.
Bazzario already testing that Florida block, and that's something that she's really good at. Dan Fisher said she's not afraid to find those hands and go for that tool.
Cam Ennis in to serve, the grad student from San Antonio, and a service error. And I would think, Shelby, that serving tough has got to be a point of emphasis for both these teams.
That's something all 4 coaches said is serve tough, the serve and pass game. They're not trying to just go serve and start the play. They're trying to go serve and score points.
Trinity Adams, she can get Florida on a lot of runs behind the service line. Targets the libero. Bazzario on the right side, dug up by McKissick. McKissick, one of the top liberos in the country as well. And Bazzario on her second swing nails it, and Pitt is off to a good start.
Beautiful dig by Miss Kissick, but there's only so much you can do when Pittsburgh is in system, especially going to Bazzario twice in a row. If you don't have forehands up against her, it's going to be really hard to defend her from the back.
The thing I love about this stage of the tournament, Shelby, is that the teams are going to their stars. I mean, we don't have to wonder who's going to get set in most of these matches. It's pretty predictable because they're so good.
There's no secrets anymore.
Adams keeps it alive for Florida. Beeson sends it back in. McKissick gives a free ball to Pitt. Fairbanks with the set, and that is hammered out of the middle by Chiawokolo.
What a hit by Chiawokolo. I almost thought Fairbanks was setting that ball over. That's how in system this setter and middle are, something that's crucial to be successful at this level in the tournament.
Serena Gray, who originally started her career at Penn State and now finishing her career at Pitt. New hairdo this year, and Markova terminates. Shelby, Markova to me is an X factor because I have not seen any team in the country be able to stop her when she gets a nice ball to hit off of.
It's because of Markova's hands. She knows where to find that block. She knows how to turn her shoulders. Just all around really smart volleyball player. Bree
Kelly in to serve now. Kelly, part of the U21 gold medal winning team that actually played under Dan Fisher over the summer, and she'll rotate out. So we've had a service error from each team so far. Bizzario to serve. Bizzario can do it all for Pitt. Transfer from Iowa. Here's Markova again. This time she goes with a tip. Markova showing some of that versatility. Stuckey. Now Stuckey is the type of setter, Shelby. She will attack, and we just saw that.
And Stuckey's going to pick on you. She knows Bizzario is in that one rotation where she's in the back row. She has her eye on that right back and punishes Bizzario.
Alexis Stuckey, what a debut she's had this season. The Southeast Region Freshman of the Year, the SEC Freshman of the Year. She does a little bit of everything. Not only passes well, she blocks, she hits. Wokolo again into the net, so a net violation on Pitt, and Florida will benefit from that. Stuckey will serve one more time.
Stuckey with that deep float serve. That looked like it could have been in or out, but at this level, if it's 50-50, you take the ball, no chances.
Stuckey from Wyoming, mom a coach. Fairbanks puts up the set. Valeria Vasquez-Gomez has had a fantastic year. She's number 2 in white. There's Markova again, and they're gonna have to find an answer for Markova.
Markova is so aggressive while super out of system. That set was really pulled in towards the middle. She literally chased that ball down and still gave it a huge hard swing.
Marka has always worn orange in her collegiate career. She came in from Syracuse, and Stuckey tried a short serve, didn't clear the net. And so we're tied at 5 here in the opening set. To me, Shelby, this match is a toss-up. I just have a hard time watching these two teams and getting a feel for who should win. I think it's a brilliant battle in the making. Vasquez-Gomez serving Adams. Stuckey in the middle. Essex puts it away.
Big kill by Essex. Mary Weiss said that she's one of the most physical hitters we have, because when that ball hits her hands, it's almost impossible to defend, especially when she gets that touch off the block.
Now this year, Florida has the luxury of using several DSs and serving specialists. This is Kanan, whose birthday was yesterday, with the serve. Wokolo attacks into the block. McKissick keeps it alive. And terminating on the left side, Sofia Victoria, who's checked into the match. Her sister Pilar was an incredible player for Texas and Arkansas. And Sofia's had a wonderful career at Florida. She's on the all-region team this year.
Pretty athletic family, the Victoria, Sam.
To say the least, yeah. Be a good beach team, those two sisters. Pitt's looking for a touch. They're not going to get it. The attack by Fairbanks is wide. Fairbanks is another attacking setter. She had that elusive triple-double against BYU, 10 kills, 28 assists, and 13 digs. And Kanan will serve one more time. Florida's won 5 of the last 6 points. Jinx them. Kanan sends that serve long. She's had 35 aces this year, though. Very aggressive server, so it's a high risk, high reward. Klicka back to serve. Klicka just earned that Libero jersey for Pitt late in the season. Victoria will get one more swing. Akeo with the set to Fairbanks. Touched, point Pitt.
And Fairbanks tried to have that cross-court shot. It went out, but she adjusted her swing, took a little bit off, and fixed it. She knows to keep going for that same shot.
Pitt in the 6-2. They've got 2 setters on the floor right now, Akeo and Fairbanks. Fairbanks is on the right pin, and Akeo number 1 in white. Stuckey with the set to Beeson, and Beeson is on the stat sheet.
Watching that approach from Beeson, you had to know that was going to be a kill. How high she got her arm in the air and how hard she swung. You could almost feel it hit the ground on that one.
McKissick, keep your eyes on her. She is fun to watch. She dives all over the place in that Libero jersey. She's had 25 double-digit dig matches. There's another one by McKissick, another dig. Good up by Akeo. Left pin attack is blocked. Fairbanks from the right side into the corner, missed it. Point Florida. But we talked about McKissick, Shelby. She is so good at keeping balls up.
And not only keeping balls up, look at McKissick taking that ball back to target, literally dropping her right shoulder, aiming her platform back to the middle. Great up and super accurate.
Florida has already had 5 players with a kill. That is the difficulty of playing the Gators. Pick your poison because they can hurt you with a lot of different players. There's so much depth across the attacking row for Florida. And Pitt right now struggling with efficiency. They've only hit .077 so far, but only trailing by 2. Oh, nice up. Left side attack is kept alive by McKissick. Stuckey with the set. Essex. Oh, good play by Gray to keep it alive. And Bizzario tools the block for the Pitt point.
Bizzario could care less. That Florida has the most blocks per set in the SEC. She's going to go for those hands. She's going to test to make sure, are these blockers pointing back in or can I score off the hands?
23 kills against BYU last weekend, the most in an NCAA tournament match in Pitt history. Bizzario has just really embraced Pitt coming over from Iowa. Victoria unable to score. Point Pitt.
Victoria had the right idea. She had to go with that tip. She was forced to get it over Bizzario's hands. When you're that out of system, it doesn't matter how it looks. Just get it over and then keep it in play.
It's been a set of runs. Pitt now has won the last 3 points. Remember, Florida had won 5 of 6 for a while to take the lead. And now we're tied at 10. Beeson runs up. Free ball now for Pitt. Fairbanks with the back set to Bizzario. And Bizzario scores again.
What you said earlier, Sam, you nailed it. There's no secret. The ball is going to Bizzario. 23 kills against BYU last match. Already taking over the stat sheet so far with 4 kills. Someone that she's going to get a lot of sets today.
Just to back you up a little bit, 4 kills on 5 swings. No errors. So 4 of her 5 swings have resulted in a kill. That is an 800 hit percentage. Middle attack. Oh, that felt good. Gabby Essex.
Essex with the huge approach, and it started with that perfect pass to their all-star setter, Stuckey. Keep it in system. When Florida's in system, they can go through the middle, make that offense super fast tempo.
Mary Beeson, the leader of this team. Old soul is how Mary Wise describes her. Gray hammers it in the middle. And Serena Gray, one of only 2 Power 5 middles to hit over 400 the last 2 seasons. She's just been an example of consistency ever since she stepped into a Pitt uniform. Ennis serving for the 2nd time in the match. Stuckey has to chase that down. Bizzario, that's like a layup in basketball. You're just not going to miss that.
An absolute free ball. And if you're Florida, you're not happy, you're frustrated. Keep that ball off the net. Not even just an overpass, an actual setup for Bizzario to kill that ball down. Just take it off your platform, keep it in play.
Mopping up some perspiration on the floor right now. And I mentioned the snowstorm outside tonight, but it gets toasty here inside the field house. And Dan Fisher's happy right now because his team's won 6 of the last 7 points to take a 2-point lead. We're going to 25, win by 2. Victoria. Bizzario again. And she's blocked. Essex got most of that. Victoria was next to her.
When Bizzario is stuffed, it is suffocating to her team because it rarely happens. And that's giving Florida all the momentum. Look at the Gators' hands. Arms literally over the net. Oh, getting riled up on that play.
Yeah, Bree Kelly was on top of that. Checking back in now, Trinity Adams rotates in to serve. She had 2 aces against Iowa State. That was who Florida swept to get here. By the way, neither of these 2 teams has lost a set in the NCAA tournament so far. So one of these teams will break that streak here.
Wow.
And Bizzario, they just have not had an answer for her on the right side. That's now 6 kills in 8 swings.
And McKissick with a good reaction, staying in base, getting a hand on the ball, but Bizzario just hits that hard. Got to figure out a way to slow the ball down.
I don't think we can mention that stat enough for Bizzario. 23 kills in a sweep is a ton against a team like BYU.
Especially in a tournament.
Markova hit it right at Gray. Good up. and Fairbanks kept it alive. Little joust at the net, still going. Wokolo called for it, got it, and put it away. Wokolo, who is an aspiring attorney, makes a good case to put Pitt up by 3 here in the opening set. This day and night of volleyball is just incredible. We've already had 2 upsets today. Oregon taking down Nebraska, who made it all the way to the national championship last year. The Ducks winning in 5 into the regional final in Louisville. And Ohio State taking out Minnesota, ending Hugh McCutcheon's distinguished career as the head coach of the Gophers. Ohio State, one of the hottest teams right now, coming into the tournament, limping a little bit. And how about the non-Power 5 leagues? Yeah, they can play. Houston and San Diego among them. San Diego, the number 2 seed out in Palo Alto. We'll see them a bit later. Serena Gray back to serve. Love that Serena Gray has a nocturnal dog. I did not even know that they existed.
Great Pyrenees.
Yeah. Nice shot by Markova. So a good timeout. And Florida sides out right away. That was a much needed point for the Gators.
Markova feeling herself after that tip. I would too. She saw how pulled back Pitt's defense was. Tested that, went right over the block. Perfect spot.
Mary Wise brings in Emerson Hoyle. A lot of different servers have been in back there for Florida. That's another advantage Florida has. Nice up by Hoyle after the serve. It was a big swing. And trying it again, Vasquez Gomez. She gets it on the second time. A kill for Vasquez Gomez.
Florida's block was there. Vasquez Gomez had a super hard shot, but if you're Florida, get frustrated. You had 4 great hands in place, just not pressing enough, and Vasquez Gomez saw that.
Bazzario, the biology major, ready to serve, hoping to turn pro after she graduates this month. Markova, again, just impossible. What, Shelby, can you tell me? I mean, what is it about her that no one seems to be able to dig a ball when she has time to hit?
Well, Markova can do it all. That's why she had the serve receive. She knows that Pitt is going to pick on her and serve receive and still gets that kill out to base, gets in transition. Super effective. 4
kills for Markova, no errors on 6 swings. Akeo with a set to Fairbanks, and Fairbanks tools the block. Point Panthers.
Fairbanks, another player who can do it all. Setting, hitting, super aggressive. She was going for those cross-court shots. It wasn't really working for her. The block from Florida was really pushing her out. Decided to go line, found success.
Vasquez Gomez, what a story she is. She has stayed at Pitt. She's had players in front of her entire career. This year she breaks out, plays 6 rotations, makes first team All-ACC. She's a testament for not going into the portal and just sticking it out. Markova, this time a hitting error. She cut it too sharp. The ball never came down. That's her first error. So the Gators take a timeout after that miss by Markova as Pitt has opened up a 4-point lead here in the back end of the opening set.
And to your point about Vasquez Gomez, the fact that she didn't enter that transfer portal, to me, that shows what kind of coach she has in Dan Fisher. She could have easily left after those years of being on the bench, being on the practice team, putting in that work. But Dan Fisher is a player's coach. He listens to them. My personal favorite thing, being a former player, is how Dan Fisher actually puts in the work with them during the practices. Yesterday, we saw Dan Fisher taking each player that passes in the games and hitting at them one-on-one, doing that, getting reps with every single player, super hands-on.
Now keep in mind, this is a Pitt team that made the national semifinals last year, but they lost a lot. They lost Kayla Lunn, Lekator Member-Monet, Kylie Levers, Chinaza Inde. These are all Americans that they had to replace, and Dan Fisher has players that are very loyal to him and his system and the Pitt University. They stayed, he went to the portal, and look at this. They are 1 match away from winning 30 this year and are still on the verge of making another national semifinal. They're actually seeking their 3rd straight regional final, which in volleyball is down to the last 8. Yeah, that's the one thing I enjoy about all 4 of our head coaches, Shelby, is attending their practices. And you can't say that about everybody, but all 4 of these head coaches are actively involved in practice. I would say these 4 are teachers. You could drop them in a classroom and they would be elite level professors or teachers as well.
And I love your point of that coaches getting into the practice. You saw Mary Wisely yelling at her players, put your hands out in service heat, make as much room as you can, take up space.
So it is Pitt enjoying the largest lead of the match right now. That's why Florida took that timeout, and Markova this time. Same spot, Shelby, but this time she's terminal. She didn't cut it too sharp.
Markova saw Akea was a little pulled into the middle of the court. Right back space can either be on the line or pulled in, but if Markova sees that you're not on the line, that's where she's going to put the ball.
And she has such good eyes, too. Markova rotates out. She's 6'5". Kanan back into serve. Kanan targeting back left, and it set Beeson up to absolutely crush one.
Merritt Beeson just jumping so high, so lethal and physical. You're Pittsburgh, just don't overpass it. These teams cannot afford to overpass it to each other at all.
Kanan went deep again, this time a little too long. That's the 5th service error for Florida, but Kanan really was responsible for them having won that prior point. Pitt up 19-16 here in the opening set. And Kat Flood is coming in to serve. First time she's been in the match this afternoon. Junior from Illinois. Good server this year, 12 aces off the bench. Love how both these coaches are using several different players early to serve. Beeson with the off speed, nice dig by Fairbanks. Here's Ennis, and Ennis with the kill from the left side.
Big hit by Ennis, but Fairbanks getting that dig was the MVP of that play. Fairbanks literally cutting off that seam and getting it out to her outside. Great in-system play.
So Flood will serve again. Interesting story. She was an elite level soccer player until her sophomore season in high school and fell in love with volleyball. So she really has not played at a high level for long. And she's at the highest level now in college. A nice tip. Good D by the Panthers. Victoria went down the line, she missed it.
Good things happen when you get a hand on the ball. Panthers just trying to make sure this ball stays in play. Probably not even thinking this will go over, but that's what happens when you get a body on the floor.
So Pitt 4 points from claiming the opening set. Gators, though, still within striking distance. Kat Flood's enjoying a nice run behind the service line for Pitt. Stuckey with a set to Beeson. Star to star.
Beeson making it look like she has a wide open net because of how hard she's hitting. She's not even going for crazy shots, line or cross court. She's going right in the middle, trying to test that middle of the court hole.
3 kills for Beeson on 7 swings, no errors. McKissick back to serve. McKissick with 33 aces this year, 3 in their last match. Targets Ennis. Ennis now has to hit. Stuckey with the back set to Beeson, and Beeson terminates again. Beeson with 2 kills in a row.
That's the second time Beeson has gone for that middle of the court, really testing Vasquez Gomez. But watch Vasquez Gomez move her arms at the last second. You gotta be still in your base to make sure you're stopped when the ball makes contact.
Beeson, on the other hand, was an elite level gymnast. But when she kept growing, she switched sports, but a lot of the skills she used as a gymnast have really translated to volleyball. Stuckey with a nice save. Fairbanks with a set to Bizzario, and Bizzario one-on-one is blocked by Victoria. Bizzario is 6'5", Victoria 6'1", and says, get that out of here.
Statement blocked by Sophia Victoria, and it's all in that timing. She saw how often that Bizzario was and made sure she took that extra beat, that extra second to wait before she pressed her hands.
Well, coverage of the Division I Women's Volleyball Championship continues all day on ESPN2 and ESPNU. For more information on the match times and listing, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. What a day it's been. I mean, since 11 a.m. Eastern this morning until you go to bed tonight, you're going to see volleyball. So here's our bracket. If we widen out a little bit, we are on this side of the bracket, which is the right side of the bracket. Oregon upsetting Kansas earlier today. Louisville's up 2-0 on Baylor. But here in Madison, we are in our first match. Florida and Pitt, and then 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one, not before 5:30 Eastern, we'll have Wisconsin and Penn State. So the Pitt Panthers hitting .310 in this set. They've gotten their hitting percentage turned around, Shelby, but right now the Gators have won 3 points in a row and are 2 points from catching Pitt.
And Gators are probably also a little frustrated with how they started that set with those missed serves, having 5 service errors while Pitt has 1. And that's something you can get over. Gators were being really aggressive. It's just all about being efficient while you're doing that.
So it'll be McKissick serving. We'll see how Pitt responds after that timeout. McKissick, good serve. Here's Ennis, left side, send it out. And Florida's within 1. 4 unanswered points posted by the Gators here deep in the set.
Error by Ennis, but I really liked how Fairbanks actually got a set. That ball was so off base for her. I thought she was going to down ball it, but it was a great decision by that setter.
McKissick targeted Vasquez Gomez, the middle back, with that last serve. This time to Ennis. Fairbanks back set off the slide is Gray. Oh, what an up by Canan. And Florida in the net trying to pursue that dig by Canan. And so Pitt breathing a little easier, surviving that 4-0 run, finally siding out.
Pitt just looking super in system right now. From the passing, the set, the communication and chemistry with the setter and middle, everything's going right this second.
Mara Beeson is talking to one of our officials at midcourt. And now going back to the team, only 1 player is allowed to approach the official. So it'll be Pitt with the serve. Rachel Fairbanks, AVCA all-region selection prior to coming here. That's a good serve. It set Gray up, and it is a point to Pitt as Florida was in the net. But it all started with a Fairbanks serve.
Personally, I thought Fairbanks' serve looked out. She's really trying to test that back line, make the Gators back up. If you're going to choose to play that ball that could be out, you got to make sure you take it off a couple of feet because you cannot overpass it back to Pittsburgh.
It's an interesting decision, isn't it? Canan's the player back there trying to make that serve receive. And so that's an example of this Pitt team right there, what you're seeing in the huddle. They are a very loose group. You can, when you're around both these teams, you feel the chemistry, how much they enjoy each other. Dan Fisher, by the way, is one of the only coaches that has his own coach's show. It's called The Fish Report. It's on YouTube. I love it because it starts out with Dan in a river in Pittsburgh fishing, and then it goes to his own little studio. And what he does is he interviews his players for about 10 minutes at a time, and you really get to know them if you watch those little Fish Report shows. I think it's a brilliant idea. I wish more coaches did that. It certainly helps me prepping.
Don't be shy, Sam. We had a little guest appearance from you over there. How'd you do? Did you catch anything?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be a guest last season. Hasn't asked me back, but.
Oh, he just doesn't have time, Sam. That's why, okay?
Yeah, Dan this year over the summer coaching our U.S. U21 team. They won the Pan Am Cup, won gold. Several of the players on the court today played for him, including 3 Gators. So these two teams are very familiar with each other. And that was also refreshing yesterday, just the camaraderie between the 4 teams that we have here. You didn't feel any sort of bitter animosity whatsoever. These 2 teams compete hard, and when it's over, they're all friends.
When it's over.
Yeah, exactly. Not right now. Fairbanks serving. Pitt trying to get to set point. Targets Canan. Stuckey with the set. Stuckey pursues it again. This time she goes outside to Victoria. Up by Klicka. Ennis tools the block. What a kill by Cam Ennis to give Pitt set point.
Cam Ennis so confident in her approach, especially after that huge block up in front of her against Florida. But she's really testing Beeson right now. Beeson was pressing, but she was going for that arm on purpose.
Set point Pitt, opening set in this regional semifinal. Whistle blew, double contact called against Florida, and the set is going to Pitt. Mary Wise passionately arguing that call, but in the end, it is going to be Pitt winning the opening set here in Madison. Well, that is exactly what we expected, a battle. And we're not even close to being done. Pitt strikes first, wins the first set in this best-of-5 set match. We'll see how the Gators respond when we come back to Madison, Wisconsin. Stars are shining, and Courtney Bizzario was lights out, Shelby.
Right side, Courtney Bizzario is really picking on Florida's back row. And even she's taking some different shots. She has some 2 digs while she's at it, but she's really being so lethal, going through the hands of the Gators. If you can't put forehands up against her, you have to be stopped in your base platform out and ready.
She is leading the match with those 6 kills, hitting 400. How do we get that? Well, she had 10 swings, 6 kills, 2 errors. So that gives you an idea of how efficient a player is, how terminal they are. Imagine hitting 400 as a baseball player, you'd be in the Hall of Fame. And so she had an excellent start to this match. Mary Wise was upset about that double contact calling. Alexis Stuckey has had the trainer over there with her nose ice on her face. So we don't know what happened. We just know that they've been applying some pressure, trying to get her back in for this set. Alexis Stuckey has been one of the top freshmen in the country, really, but by far in the SEC. And out of the state of Wyoming. Went to a Florida Gator summer camp at the urging of her mom, who was on the Kansas staff for a long time now, an incredible junior coach. And the rest is history. And Alexis Stuckey, just off the chart stud in terms of horseback riding. She was a 9-time 4-H horse state champion. And here we go. Yeah, thanks, guys. This Alexis Stuckey competing in 4-H competitions back when she was younger. She was elite in showmanship, Western pleasure, hunter under saddle, and hunter seat equitation. That is her with her horse Bear.
Bear.
And if that is just not the sweetest picture, I don't know what is.
Stuckey makes Bear very proud.
And Alexis Stuckey too, Shelby. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to give, she's a high character kid. She will look you in the eye and say hello to you every time she sees you, and I just think that sets young people above today. I love her passion and how kind she is.
I bet Stuckey has a mean handshake.
Well, that is true.
It's going to take a lot more than a bloody nose to get Alexis Stuckey out of the NCAA tournament. Just channeling J.J. Watt here, Sam.
Yeah.
Making her tough, getting scary. I like it.
Well, Wisconsin has an award they have. It's called the Grit Gal Belt for a player that finishes a match with a gritty effort. And I think Stuckey's be a contender for that for Florida. Let's see how she does with that gauze up in one of her nostrils.
He's coming for the award.
All right, so we're ready to go. Pitt won the first set, and it'll be Fairbanks serving. Pitt will be on the left side of your screen in the white. Florida obviously in the orange on the right. Merritt Beeson attacking first. Oh, nice up by Fairbanks. That would have been a kill against most people, and Pitt is rewarded. That was incredible defense.
Vasquez Gomez and Fairbanks getting 2 beautiful touches, staying in the play. And if you're Florida, they're super out of system. Make sure you're taking that ball and putting it back over and in for the Panthers to get.
Fairbanks was a star on our U21 national team over the summer. Erin Virtue with USA Volleyball, one of the assistants. She's here. We'll actually get to talk to her later tonight. And Victoria answers for the Gators.
Mary Wise said Victoria is really hitting her stride. And she's just so aggressive. She's lethal. She knows how to go for shots and knows when to take those.
Beeson to serve. Tied at 1 here in the second set. Pitt won the first. Serena Gray way up. Beeson with a nice start. Blocked. Serena Gray with the block. And the point goes to Pitt.
That block by Serena Gray is textbook. Put it in a textbook. She waited, her hands were back into the court. It looked like Gators were gonna tour because that's how hard Beeson was hitting. But look how Gray put her hands back into the court. There was no way it was getting covered.
Early stages here in the second set. Fairbanks settles under it with the set back to Bizzario. And Bizzario saw that opening. Canaan couldn't quite get there.
Bizzario just going off. And if you're the Gators, you're trying to get her in the back row as fast as you can. Because like you said, Sam, there's no secrets at this point in the season. You know the ball's going to Bizzario when the Panthers are in system.
Nice serve right off the net. Stuckey with the set. Now Fairbanks rolled over by Vasquez Gomez. That was such a smart shot, recognizing that opening in the defense, went off speed.
I like the body language from Vasquez Gomez after that kill. Instead of celebrating a little bit, she puts her arms out and goes directly to the huddle. Super team player.
Vasquez Gomez, first team All-ACC, an all-region player as well. So many accomplished individuals on this court today. Beeson out of the back row. She couldn't have walked it over there any better. That was perfect.
Perfect back row attack from Beeson. Something we haven't seen either team really utilize yet so far. And look how high she is in the air at this approach. 4 hands up against her. Easy decision for her to go for that deep right back corner.
And that was a beautiful swing. Trinity Adams now back in to serve, so lethal back there. Trinity aspiring to be a marine biologist. Pizarro, a rare miss. And Florida pulls within 1.
A rare miss by Pizarro, but that's Florida forcing her to take different shots.
Only the second hitting error on Pizarro in 13 swings. Will float serve, fooled the Panthers for a second. And the block of Markova. Got most of that one with Bree Kelly next to her.
Markova getting a textbook block just like Serena Gray's was. Look at Markova's body. She puts her head down into her chest, make sure her hands go back to the right side of the court. Perfectly in system.
Markova has been such a surprise for Florida. They didn't really know much about her until she put her name in the portal last year. Took a chance, and she has been dominant as a Gator this year. Here's Markova. Went off speed. She's such a cerebral player, too, not just power. Pizarro finds another perfect spot. She's like a surgeon out there.
And nice eyesight by Pizarro. She saw that Trinity Adams was kind of running in her base, not stopped. She decided to test, go right for that middle back.
Serena Gray back to serve. Such an incredibly gifted player on and off the court. Incredible student. Markova has to send this over. Free ball for Pitt. Wokolo in the middle doesn't get it. And another good block. I think that was Bree Kelly getting most of it, as it was a free ball. Pitt had a lot of options, and they picked the wrong one as Kelly stuffed it.
And Bree Kelly doing a nice job at lining up with Alexis Stuckey, making sure their shoulders are touching, their hands are touching, putting up an actual wall against Pitt.
Tied at 5. Second set, Pitt won the first in this best-of-5 set match. Play on, no violation. Click it with a set. Again, Vasquez Gomez tools the block. It's just too much power coming off those hands.
When Vasquez Gomez decides to go for the fingertips of Florida, it's so hard to defend because she hits that hard that when that contact happens, it's impossible to chase that ball down if you recover.
Vasquez Gomez's dad was a pro basketball player. Sisters all played volleyball. She has definitely a future in professional volleyball from Puerto Rico. Stuckey with a set, back row attack again by Beeson. And Fairbanks couldn't save it. So again, Beeson successful out of that back row.
And if you're Pitt, you got to start keeping an eye out for Beeson at the back. And now she's coming to the front. But that's something Florida's starting to utilize, is that back row attack, that pipe.
Stuckey with a serve. Akeo tries to save it. Stuckey again. Markova terminates. That broke the 4th tie of the set. And it's the first lead Florida's had since early in the first. CK Canoe, she has been such a nice addition to Mary Wise's staff. Remember, she was a 2-time All-American and all-time Gator great. Joined the staff as a volunteer assistant last July, but she is all over the place. She and Dave Boos. Another point for the Gators. Now, CK used to wear the headband when she played, and earlier this year they were a little light on players, and they put CK in some scrimmages when they had an off week, and I heard she dominated.
Oh, CK is not afraid to go grab the penny. She wants to get in there.
Yeah. It's tough to keep her off the court. Good serve by Stuckey. Vasquez Gomez, love that windup. McKissick with another good dig. Markova. Vasquez Gomez off speed, blocked by Beeson. One more time, blocked again. Bazzario, are you kidding me? I mean, Shelby, where she got a kill from there is, that's remarkable.
Bazzario coming from the back row. She sees what Beeson's doing, and she can do that as well. Look how far back Bazzario is and how high she's reaching, avoiding those Florida hands perfectly.
I mean, that ball was behind her. That's just such incredible arm strength from that position. 9 kills now. Pitt hitting 245 in the match, Florida hitting 250. It's a battle between the ACC and the SEC. The SEC led the nation this year with 7 teams in the tournament.
Wow.
Kentucky still in action, Louisville still in action out of the ACC. Wokolo hit it off of Adams' hands. Nice swing by Wokolo.
You never know when those shank balls are going to be set up. I'm pretty sure that everyone in the nation saw that play from Houston where their star libero went running into that table. SportsCenter top 10. Amazing plays in volleyball right now, especially in this tournament.
Valeria Vasquez Gomez, it gets so quiet in here. Both these teams traveled well. The Wisconsin fans and Penn State fans starting to come in as well. And Bazzario again, just too much power.
Bazzario's really picking on the middle back right now. Trinity Adams, she's really testing her at the back. And if you're in the back row, get your platform stopped. You can't move once the ball makes contact. That's the shake that's going to happen.
Vasquez Gomez, a good run here behind the service line. Pitt up by a point. Stuckey setting Markova, and Markova terminates. Went off of Bazzario. We're tied for the 6th time this set.
Markova coming straight for Bazzario. Not trying to go for any seam. Coming right to Bazzario. Trying to do anything to get her out of system.
Stuckey's probably hoping we cut out the close-ups.
No, it's the JJ Watt. She wants those close-ups.
I guess it makes her look tough. She's had the bloody nose and gauze in one of her nostrils. Looks pretty intimidating. Little joust at the net. That's kept alive by McKissick. Good play by McKissick. And the Pitt block is a fortress. Pitt goes up a point. And we welcome those of you who have just watched Louisville defeat Baylor, one of the ACC zone right here on the left side of your screen. Once we get going, it is Pitt playing the SEC Florida Gators. Sam Gore along with Shelby Coppage as we are continuing our day and night of volleyball here on ESPNU. Ennis attacking from the left side, and Pitt is now up 2. Pitt won the opening set in a very tight affair. Here in Madison, it's a chalk bracket, meaning all 4 top seeds advanced. In fact, when we came into this day, neither Florida nor Pitt had lost a set the entire tournament. Wisconsin and Penn State will be up 30 minutes following this one, or not before 5:30. Overpass, Ennis can't put it away. Ennis one more time, dug up by Canan. Beeson with the off speed, and we're going to have another double contact call on Alexis Stuckey. That's how the first set ended, somewhat controversially.
Alexis Stuckey, that player, though, that makes those adjustments in real time. If she gets a double, that next set is going to be an assist.
Kat Flood had a nice service run in the first set. Dan Fisher going with her again off the bench here in the second. Stuckey saves it, and just not enough room there for Victoria to do anything with that, so Pitt wins the point. Florida having to take a timeout right now as Pitt has won 7 of the last 8 points. For those of you watching our match currently on ESPN News, we're moving over to ESPNU for the completion of this match after the commercial break. Well, this is an area that is absolutely passionate about volleyball, and kicking us off today in the field house, Florida and Pitt. Mary Wise, one of the all-time great coaches, period. But in volleyball, no one has won more matches among active coaches. She's won over 1,000 matches, and by the way, has a career winning percentage of over 84%. Her Gators right now being challenged by Pitt, national semifinalists last year. The Panthers up 4 and they won the first set. Ennis tools the block and Pitt builds the lead.
Pitt's really starting to figure out how to beat that Florida block, and that's by going the outsides of the hands, the thumb, the pinky. Everything's going right for Pitt, and they're tooling right now.
Ennis is such a versatile player for them as well. And how about Kat Flood off the bench? She's been such an impactful server. Targets Canaan that time. Stuckey with a set, and that felt good as Gabby Essex hammers it.
Gabby Essex, who Mary Wise said is one of the most physical players on her team because she hits that hard, and she's smart. She knows what shots to go for and what space is open on the court.
Gabby's also one of the players that's played for Pitt coach Dan Fisher on the U20 team a couple of years ago. So many of these players participate in USA Volleyball national teams. Ennis keeps it alive. Fairbanks dumps. Kissick not fooled. McKissick with a nice save. Bizzario good up. Now she'll swing. And Bizzario sends it out of play for her 11th kill.
Great digs everywhere right now, but Bizzario putting that ball down and going for this line shot. All blockers right in front of her. She makes that easy decision to go right down the line. She looks pretty happy about it. I would be too.
How many more shots does she have, Shelby? I think we've seen her score in just about every way possible in terms of attacking. 11 kills off 19 swings. Good serve by Fairbanks, hit it right at Canaan. Oh, that is crushed by Victoria. Gives Stuckey the assist.
Victoria and Stuckey could not be more in system. Their chemistry is really showing right now. Stuckey literally just throwing the ball right at the net. Perfect spot for Victoria to put the ball down.
Stuckey now with 15 assists here, and we're midway through the second set almost. Fairbanks setting Gray. I think Gray would have had her head over a rim on that attack. That ball was set, and she ended up being above the ball.
Gray's vertical is amazing, and that relationship with Fairbanks as well. Pittsburgh has great chemistry with their middles and setters, just like Florida does.
Ennis serving. Pitt up by 5 now, trying to take a 2-set lead against the Gators in this best-of-5 match. The winner of this moves on to the regional finals, which is down to the last 8 in the NCAA tournament. Vasquez Gomez, nice up by Victoria. Out of the middle. Vasquez Gomez again finds the opening.
Vasquez Gomez has such a unique windup when she takes that approach. She literally drops her hand down and does a full circle to gain as much power as she can, avoiding 6'2" Stuckey's hands.
There's so many players in this match that just the way they swing is just beautiful to watch. Back set to Beeson out of the back row. That is the 3rd kill Beeson's had from the back row. So that has been a successful formula for the Gators.
Florida's seeing that it's working, going for Beeson in the back row. And Serena Gray got a touch on it, not the block, got the tool, but she smiled after. She wants that test from Beeson.
Trinity Adams back to serve for the Gators. Fairbanks with the set back to Bizzario. And Kelly, I think she tried to kick it over, but it is didn't work.
Oh, I love a good foot dig, Sam.
Who doesn't?
That's something that you'll see in this tournament. Just crazy plays, plays that you thought would never happen here.
Serena Gray back to serve now. First team all ACC selection, all East Coast region. Last time you saw her last year, she had a lot more hair. She just on a whim shaved her head this year and has gone with that new look this year. There's Markova, who is just so terminal. 8 kills now, only 1 hitting error on 13 swings. It's difficult to play Florida, Shelby, because they have so many attackers that can score. You've got Markova and Beeson with 7, but right now there's 7 players with at least a kill for Florida. Lazario kept alive by Beeson. Stuckey trying to save it, and that was dangerous. I'm actually glad she pulled off of that.
Stuckey's just trying to get your award, Sam. Showing how tough she is. She's a player that needs something in front of her to stop, because she's not going to stop. She's going to keep going, trying to get a hand on that ball.
Florida taking a timeout. And it is Pitt leading by 6 at this crucial juncture. The Gators need to win this set. They're down a set and down 6 in the second. Well, it's V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is a game-changing research that saves lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes exclusively and directly to cancer research. Well, the Florida Gators out of the SEC, one of 7 teams to make the tournament this year. 2 playing today. Kentucky in action out in Palo Alto, trailing the Pitt Panthers out of the ACC by 6 here in the second set. Good save by Beeson. Markova rolls it over, tools the block in the process. Point Gators.
The softest hit we've seen from Markova this match so far. Usually it's going straight down, but she's that player that reads the play. She reads the blocker's hands, the defense, and she'll take some off to put it down.
Alexis Stuckey back to serve. It was so fun to see her on her horse in that opening set, those pictures we showed. She's such a versatile young woman. Big future for her in USA Volleyball as well. Akeo with a set. Vasquez Gomez. Markova keeps it alive. Nice dig. Beeson. And it's Beeson who went off 2 players' hands to score for the Gators.
Great kill by Beeson. I like the defense from Markova, pulling off the setter, allowing Stuckey to take that second ball to give Beeson the opportunity to get that kill.
Gators fighting back. And Stuckey aggressive. Hard to blame her for that, but that was just a little long. And so it is Pitt who hits that 20-point milestone first in the quest to 25, win by 2. Valeria Vasquez Gomez back to serve, a 6 rotation player for Pitt. This has been her coming out year after playing behind so many All-Americans her first 3 years. Beeson with another kill off the block.
Not any block, a triple block. Beeson with 6 hands up against her and still hitting that sharp angle with that left front wide open. Watch these hands against Beeson, 6. And they're put together. Pitt's block looks great, but Beeson's that good at hitting around the block and trusting the coverage behind her.
Gators not going away. They're down a set. Don't want to go down 2 sets. Wokolo hammers it out of the middle, as every time the Gators get going, the Panthers respond.
Wokolo coming in for that fast tempo offense. That's what Pitt's allowed to do when they have a great serve receive. It opens up the chance for their setter to run their middles.
Yeah, Wokolo right now in the process of preparing to go to law school. He's going to take a gap year and become an attorney. Actually planning on becoming a prosecutor. Flood with a nice serve. Kat Flood has been quite the intangible. She may not have shown up on the scouting report because Kat Flood doesn't play all that much, but she's come in today and just been a rock star behind the service line.
Kat Flood had swag. When you said she played soccer, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Soccer players have a different kind of swag about them. That's what Kat Flood has.
She intended to pursue collegiate soccer, but just couldn't hold back her love of volleyball after her sophomore year in high school. Pitt, 22-16, and we've got a violation, a double contact on Pitt, so Florida will take that free point.
Right now, Pitt's hitting 353, Florida's hitting 258. Great volleyball. And when it's errors, it's little things like this set. It's not balls being wailed out or in the net. It's really smart volleyball being played right now.
Pitt is just a little more terminal right now, 30 kills to 25. They both have the same number of errors. Fairbanks on the attack, dug up by Kanan. Stuckey with a set, it was tight. And that is a kill by Sofia Victoria. Nice set by Stuckey.
Victoria going right for Vasquez Gomez. That's two beach teams we need. The Vasquez Gomez family and the Victoria family. A face-off. I'm here for it.
Well, maybe they'll all be on the Puerto Rican national team one time. We've got a timeout. Critical stage in the match, as it is Pitt trying to take a 2-set lead and Florida trying to tie at a set apiece. Well, while we have a break in the volleyball, I want to remind you of our Saturday afternoon college basketball doubleheader. My alma mater, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Don't make fun of me. I know they're struggling right now. Where they play Georgia Tech at 3:15 Eastern. That's on Saturday. And then Jalen Wilson and number 6 Kansas will take on Missouri following. Both games are on ESPN and the app. Pitt out of the ACC, trying to get back to the national semifinals. And all the success Pitt has had has been under Dan Fisher's guidance. In fact, I keep saying they're seeking their 3rd straight regional final. Well, it would be the only 3 they've ever had in program history. I mean, when Dan Fisher came in, he has taken this program from really unknown to a national powerhouse. And going up against a Mary Wise coach team is no easy task. Dave Booth, Mary's longtime assistant down there at the bottom left, talking to the team. Mary's the bottom right. Can't see her. She's blocked by CK Canutt. There's Mary. And Mary Wise said she's just enjoyed coaching this team so much this year. And she's had, well, 32 teams that she can speak about. But this has been a very special group.
32 teams. That's amazing.
Mary and her husband Mark Wise, parents of 2 grown sons. Mark played basketball at Georgia Tech. He's one of our analysts at ESPN on the college basketball scene. McKissick back to serve. Fairbanks with the set. Ennis on the attack. Dug up by McKissick. That's got to go over, and Beeson just couldn't make a good play on it. And Pitt is now 2 points from a 2-set advantage.
Beeson not able to keep that ball in. But what a dig by McKissick, just putting the body on the floor, the arm out, and making sure that ball stays in play. Didn't work, but those plays do work at times.
Fairbanks back to serve, glanced over at the bench to get her serving instructions. Let's see where she goes. It's it back left to Victoria. Victoria on the attack. Fairbanks with the back set to Bizzario. Gray kept it alive. Bizzario again. Did she hit hands? No. Point Florida.
Surprising to see Bizzario hit that ball out. All of the Florida players were really sucked into the middle of the court. And Bizzario saw that. That's why she had that hard hit trying to go for that line. Just put it a little more in. I don't think Florida would have gotten that up regardless.
Bizzario with 13 kills, 24 swings. Beeson back to serve. Gators need a lot of points quickly. Vasquez Gomez out of the back row, dug up by Beeson. Victoria hits into the block, and another Gator point.
Victoria being so aggressive up against Serena Gray. Mary Wise said that Victoria is one of the most likable human beings you'll ever meet. I'm pretty sure she likes her tools as well.
Beeson back to serve, trying to freeze Pitt at 23. Bizzario, dug up by Kanan. Victoria, she's had the hot hand and tools the block again. Timeout, Pitt. So the Gators are chomping. They are within 2 right now, as Pitt trying to figure out right now how to stop this Florida run.
Florida just stealing all the momentum. Back-to-back huge kills and going off the hands of Pitt. Something that the Gators are doing well at is testing that front line defense.
Well, Mary Wise again, just one of the best coaches, period, in all of sports, but in this sport, just unprecedented numbers. Mary, the only woman to take a team to the national championship now in her 36th year as a head coach. Most career victories in the NCAA. No other active coach has more wins than Mary Wise. She's at 1,026 right now. Over 1,000 wins. She really put volleyball on the map in the SEC first. I know Kentucky's won the national championship, but it was Mary Wise who blazed the trail for the sport in the SEC. And look at these numbers over the course of her career at Florida only. She is trying to take the Gators to a 9th NCAA semi. They've been to the national championship once. They lost in 2017. But Mary Wise is just, you mentioned Mary Wise's name, and coach's eyes light up.
It's something that I see Mary Wise has passed down her team. The Gators don't get rattled. Even when they had 5 missed serves in that first set, you could not tell something was wrong on their face. Alexis Stuckey missed a couple serves. She goes back to her base, and she's smiling. She's not letting those errors follow her, and that how they hold themselves, that character is something you can tell Mary Wise has passed to her team.
Yeah, that's one of the things when you talk to former players about playing for Mary, they talk about things she says in timeouts, how impactful it is, and how she knows when to loosen them up and when to fire them up. Serena Gray, that attack was called out. We haven't had a challenge, and it looks like we may have our first. So Gray's attack was called out, and I don't think she believes it.
Oh, Serena Gray refuses. I loved her reaction. She hit that ball, and she celebrated, but immediately turned to Dan Fisher and said that was in. She would not move. Let's see right here.
Let's see. If it touches any part of the line, it's in. It was called out.
Oh.
So this that hadn't touched yet. Come on, Shelby. Wait a minute.
I think it's in. What do you think?
I can't tell from that angle. You have to see it on the side. And again, by the way, the officials have different camera angles than we do. So they've got better looks. But the initial ruling was it was out. So it has to be clearly in for this call to be overturned. Each team starts the match with 2 challenges. If you are successful in your challenge, you keep it. If you're not successful, you lose it. And so we're challenging in or out. I think it's
that
out.
one looked out.
Yeah, I think it's out.
This looks out. But
good job, guys. That's a good look.
I love the trust that Dan Fisher has, though. When Serena Gray turned around and she looked at Dan Fisher, do you think Dan Fisher could see if that ball's in or out? No, he can't. He trusts his players. When they say, coach, please challenge it, he does it. That's that communication he has with his players.
Well, I mean, and in all honesty, this is a perfect time to use that challenge to have that happen because of where we are in this set, because it certainly stops Florida while they review this. And it was a legit challenge, but it's a bonus for Pitt that it came when it did, even if they don't get this call. So this could be a massive one because it could change the score. Pitt could have a set point.
We've been waiting for the drama. We weren't going into a third set with no challenges called, Sam.
Well, if the part of the ball touched the line, it was in, and it was good. So the call has been overturned. Dan Fisher successful in his challenge. So that changes things dramatically here because now Pitt has set points. So part of that ball hit the line. Stuckey with the set. Gray with the final block. And it is Pitt who takes a 2-0 lead here in Madison. So much star power in this match, and the Stars have really been shining here in these first 2 sets as Serena Gray ends that set with her 3rd block. Serena Gray also with 4 kills on 8 swings, no errors. And the team's heading into the dressing room right now. And I think we're going to end up talking to Dan Fisher as before he gets into the locker room. Since we're up so high, we can't have the coach stop by here. They have to stop at a headset down on the floor. And so we're just waiting for Dan to get set up as the Panthers are meeting amongst themselves. So the Panthers up 2-0 after 2 sets against the Florida Gators. And Florida put up quite a fight there at the end of both sets, but it was Pitt who ended up distancing themselves at the end of the set. So I think we're getting ready with Dan Fisher down in the corner. And Dan, I hope you can hear me right now. I can see you down there, but just wondering your thoughts of those first 2 sets.
I think we're playing really well. It's a little bit of what the numbers would have said coming in. They're winning the first ball battle. We got to do a little bit better there, but I think we're winning the transition game.
Coach, Courtney Bazzario already having 13 kills. What do you like even from her shot placement?
She's just carrying a big load for us. She's constantly taking big rips and putting pressure on the other team.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So Pitt up 2-0, and Dan Fisher's Panthers, a national semifinalist last year, showing that experience, winning 2 tight opening sets. We'll see if the Gators can begin the process of fighting back in Madison. Welcome back to Madison, Wisconsin, as things are heating up inside the field house. Pitt up 2-0 here at intermission. Sam Gore along with Shelby Coppage. And Shelby, I knew that this was going to be close. I mean, we felt like these 2 teams would really battle. I don't think we thought one of them would be up 2-0 after 2 sets. What are your thoughts on those first 2 sets?
Right now, the hitting's looking great. The offense is there. Pitt's hitting 293, Florida's hitting 243. The difference is who can play the cleanest set of volleyball. Florida lost that first set by 5 points. Guess how many service errors they had? 5. It's going to be all about who can be clean with volleyball, in system, and get that ball over and in.
We were laughing because earlier I called you Courtney because we're so consumed with Courtney Bazzario.
13 kills,
Shelby
I'll take
Courtney.
it.
I mean, Courtney Bazzario has just been going off.
And Coach Fisher said that she's really doing a great job at putting the pressure on the Gators, and mainly by changing up those shots. She doesn't care where the defense is. She's going to go for that seam, and she listens to her back row players. Her back row does a great job at telling her, we're here to cover you.
Yeah, Bazzario putting up some big numbers in those first 2 sets. Nice to see both teams traveled so well. A lot of Gators, and the Gators are still bundled up. They're still cold coming from Gainesville. But here's the numbers from the first 2 sets. Anything stick out for you there?
It's just all about the kills for Pitt right now. But Florida's defense is there. 34 digs, while Pitt has 26. Even blocks. It's really just going to be who can be the most efficient at the front and the service line. Who can take that ball behind the service line and not only keep the ball in play, but go on runs, get 2 or 3 points per rotation.
Pitt still has not dropped a set in the tournament, and now the Gators will have to give us a 5-setter if they hope to win this first match. This is the first match of the day in Madison, and then coming up a half hour after this one, but not before 5:30 Eastern, we will have Wisconsin and Penn State. It is filling up here in the field house. Fans were in line about 2 hours before the start of this first match. There's a section in one of the end zones at general admission, and fans just flocking in to watch this match and then stick around for Wisconsin and Penn State. Congratulations to Louisville and Oregon. They have booked their spot in the Final 8. They'll play their regional final Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPNU. So there are the multitude of Wisconsin fans. Now, these people have been here since the start of this Pitt Gator match because those are general admission seats, and they are passionate about volleyball and where they sit.
Well, the fans weren't here just when the match started. Some of those have been here since 9:30 a.m. Some of them might have beat Sam and I to the gym.
I know they did because one of our fellow media members here said there were people here at 9 a.m. this morning. Trinity Adams, first serve of the 3rd set, sends it long as Serena Gray ended that last set with a stuff block, and Gray is back to serve now for Pitt. Gray, one of the most accomplished student athletes in the country. Just read her bio sometimes, just amazingly talented. Markova on the attack. Gray keeps it alive. Fairbanks with the set. Vasquez Gomez. That felt good.
There's that Vasquez-Gomez signature wind-up. Look at her arm, how fast she winds up and how much power she gains in that motion, and then that decision to go right through the block. Great play.
Serena Gray. She probably never would have thought she'd be so good behind the service line. She really didn't become a very good server till she got to Pitt. And that is a nice answer by Bree Kelly.
Bree Kelly, who's so good at running behind Alexis Stuckey, mainly because of that chemistry they have. Kelly knows exactly where Stuckey's going to put that ball.
Kelly also on the U21 national team last summer for Dan Fisher. Won a gold medal. Nice up by Beeson. Kept that rally alive for Florida. Fairbanks with a set, and Wokolo hammers it.
Perfect in-system play, finishing that kill by Wokolo. And it starts with that pass. Pitt just looking so good from top to bottom.
Lazario, player we featured at intermission, 13 kills on 25 swings, 4 digs, 3 blocks, and now an ace.
And if you're Rosario, there's a high chance that she's going to go right back to that same spot, right at Trinity Adams. She's going to pick on the person that's struggling.
Second ace of the match for Pitt. Haven't been a lot of aces in this match. Florida hasn't had any. Both these teams are just so good at serve receive. Stuckey pushes it back out to Markova, and Markova does what she does best, terminates.
Markova getting all the momentum for her team after that monster swing. Look how hard she hits. Left of your screen. Watch how high she hits in the air, and her body literally freezing in the air. Incredible ups and a power swing.
Markova now in double digits, 10 kills, the only Gator with at least 10 so far. Vasquez-Gomez, did she hit hands? No, point Florida. Went high hands, but nobody touched it.
Vasquez-Gomez had the right idea. She saw McKissick really pulled back, not put on the line. Tried to go left back, just couldn't put it in.
Stuckey back to serve. Good jump serve. Wokolo blocked. Markova with the stuff.
Look how high Markova's hands get. Even the celebration for her teammates, her hands are so high above them. She is a wall at the net and a force to be reckoned with. Look at the ball, it almost hits her elbow. That's how high she gets over the net.
6'5", but plays so much taller as that serve sails out. Pitt takes the 1-point lead. Markova only 1 season at Florida after coming over from Syracuse, and that kind of makes me a little sad, Shelby, because I've just so enjoyed watching Markova play at Florida, and what an incredible addition she's been to the Gator team. But she will be turning professional after this collegiate season. Vasquez-Gomez to serve. Stuckey with a set. Oh, that is hammered in the middle by Essex.
Akeo in the right spot for that dig, but the problem was she didn't have both hands together. Her base looked great, she was stopped, but she broke her platform at the last second. When you're against a powerful Gator hitter, you gotta make sure your hands stay together and don't lose grip.
Kanan celebrated her birthday yesterday with the serve now, and nice serve as she was targeting Ennis, but Klicka stepped in front of her to try to make the receive, and it was an ace. That's the first ace for the Gators today.
Happy birthday, Kanan. I think she heard you, Sam.
A birthday ace.
They'll take it.
Kanan again targets Klicka. Akeo with a back set. Nice set. Send it out to Fairbanks. Now Stuckey to Beeson. And again, a double contact called on Stuckey. A point awarded to Pitt. Stuckey today, 23 assists, 5 digs and a block. Also has a kill.
We've seen a couple double calls on Florida, a couple missed serves. Again, the key for Florida to not be swept and to stay in this match, just clean it up, take care of your side of the ball, because it works out when you get the ball over and in.
This set determines Florida's season. Pitt's up 2-0. Oh, how about Stuckey making a set off that tight ball to Essex? That was beautiful.
huge swing by Essex, and it started with that approach. How fast she makes her body move. Look at that one-handed set from Stuckey. Incredible connection with her middle.
She only needs one hand to set. Why are we getting the double contacts called on her?
Yeah, just go with one from now on.
McKissick, service error, point Pitt. If Pitt wins this match, they are in the regional final tomorrow. If Florida wins this set, we play on in this match. Fairbanks back to serve. Again, one of those positionless players. She can do everything. Bree Kelly, nice attack, and Fairbanks with a good dig. Bizzario with the tip. Stuckey will set. And good play by the Gators. Florida siding out to take a 1-point lead.
Gators staying in system, and Merritt Beeson was at the right front, ran all the way over to the left front and got that dig. That shows that leadership, that mentor that she is. She's gonna get the ball no matter what.
Beeson back to serve. 10th service error of the match on the Gators, and only the one ace. That is a ratio the Gators must improve. Ennis back to serve. And Ennis with the errors, contagious.
It really is contagious. Errors are contagious. Momentum is contagious. The bench energy is contagious. That's one of my favorite things to watch at the Power 5 level. These teams' benches are insane. That's something that is contagious to the team on the court playing.
Just saw Browski come into the match for Pitt. Browski in the DS role in the back right in the white jersey. That's her with a serve receive. Gray punches it over. Adams keeps it alive. Joust at the net. Somebody was in the net, and it was Florida, so the point is awarded to Pitt.
Stuckey getting called in the net. Yep, clear right there. Her arms kind of came down.
What a future for Alexis Stuckey. And what a tight third set.
Wow.
We've had 6 ties. Bizzario attacks, blocked. Bree Kelly and Markova were both there to provide a wall for the Gators.
Beautiful connection with Kelly and Markova, but Stuckey getting that pass up was incredible. And an actual wall by the Gators. Pittsburgh just shell-shocked, not able to get that pass.
Kelly back to serve for Florida. Targets Browski. Fairbanks with the set, back to Vasquez Gomez. Hit it into the net. Point Florida.
And if you're Florida, you're trying to keep that ball behind the service line for as long as possible. Mary Weiss said it's so detrimental that we extend rotations.
Florida up by 2 in a must-win set for the Gators. Bizzario, cross-court attack is wide, and Florida building some momentum here in the third set. Timeout Pitt. The Panthers can feel it. The Gators, with their season on the line, have a 3-point lead here in this must-win set for them. It's early, but Florida off to a good start in the third. Dan Fisher's Pitt Panthers still haven't dropped a set in the NCAA tournament, but right now, Florida up by 3. Florida hasn't led by 3 since the opening set at 10-7. Let's see if they can side out. Pitt took the timeout. Everybody clears out of the way for Adams to keep that alive. And Wokolo terminates from the middle.
When Wokolo comes in for that quick one, there's not even a read. You're going to defend her whatever base you're in. Put the platform out. There's not much time but reaction because she hits that fast and hard.
Wokolo 5 kills on 9 swings. She has hit over 319 matches this year. Stuckey settles under it, pushes it out to Markova. A little off speed from Markova. Bizzario tried to dig it, but Markova, she just sees the court so well, Shelby, and knew exactly where to place that ball.
Markova says, I'll take it. It doesn't matter how the kill looks, as long as you get the kill. I think every coach will agree with that.
Stuckey glancing over to get her serve instructions from assistant Dave Booth. Serves right at Vasquez Gomez. Here's Bizzario out of the back row. Cut it sharp and cut it too sharp. Point Florida. Another timeout being taken by Pitt. What a day of volleyball here all across the country. Starting at 11 a.m. this morning, you can watch volleyball till you go to bed later. We've got a lot of surprise winners and some expected winners, like Texas hanging on, defeating Marquette. But what an incredible season for Marquette. Congratulations to Marquette. They took a set off Texas today. And Ohio State, I think, surprised a lot of people, beating Minnesota 3-1 today to move into the regional final against Texas. It's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out, because now all of a sudden Ohio State went from a team that a lot of people were questioning coming into the tournament to being one of the hottest teams in the country. And Kentucky out of the SEC will meet San Diego later tonight on ESPNU, as well as Stanford taking on Houston, who's been quite an incredible story in the tournament. I know you love Houston. You're from Houston.
I'm from Houston, but you actually read my mind, because I wanted to bring up that Houston play. Houston's broke. Katie Duartes made Sports Center top 10, running into a table. That interview, she said, I didn't even know there was a table. But that just shows the game of volleyball, how intense it is. People notice. You don't have to be a volleyball expert to love volleyball. You can see what a great dig is, what a great kill is. I love the attention the tournament has really drawn in today this season.
Well, it's been a year of unprecedented heights for this sport. Florida was part of the largest crowd in history to watch a volleyball match when they beat Wisconsin here in Madison in the Kohl Center earlier this year. And good to see the Gator faithful traveling from the warmth of Gainesville here to the frozen conditions of Madison. Gators looking good here in the third. They have to win this set to keep their season alive. And another big block on the left side, by Markova.
This might be where the Panthers start to second guess if they want to set the right side when Markova is up on the left, because her press, her block is just so lethal right now. She's on.
4 blocks now for Markova to go along with her 11 kills. She's hitting .588 in this match. Gators up 5. We go to 25, win by 2 in this set. Fairbanks to Vasquez Gomez, blocked! Beeson says, get that out of here.
This is the most in system Florida has looked the entire match. And when Florida turns it on, it's hard to turn them off. Beeson getting so much momentum for her team.
You can feel the intensity. Stuckey serves Browski. Here's Bizzario out of the back row. That's too good.
Florida had to know Bizzario was not going to go with that cross shot again. She's a player where if something doesn't work, she's going to change it immediately. She trusts her shots, and she has a lot of tools in her belt.
Broke a 4-point run by Florida. Much needed side out for Pitt. Valeria Vasquez Gomez back to serve. Serves it at Markova. Good serve receive for Markova, then hits. Fairbanks pushes it over to Ennis. McKissick, another good dig. Beeson tooling the block for the Gator point.
I honestly thought Beeson was going to tip for a second because she was so early in her approach, but she's that athletic, she's still going to go for that hard hit. And look at Pitt, Beeson hitting right into their hands, but she sees their hands are not pressing. Nice eye.
That was the 27th assist for Stuckey. Canan into serve for the Gators. Florida up by 6. That block goes out of bounds, so it's a kill for Ennis. And I love the Ennis story too, because she really had to come in when Juliana Dalton went down, one of the Pitt players that was normally a starter, and Ennis can play 6 rotations. I mean, she can play every position on the court, and that's kind of becoming a trademark for Dan Fisher's system with the bigger players this year. He's got a lot of players that can play all the way around. Flood into serve. She's had a nice serving match. Victoria had time. Bizzario kept it alive. This has got to go over. Fairbanks from her knees with that set. That's tight. And Victoria, no, it wasn't Victoria in the net. Pitt got into the net. Point Florida.
Fairbanks in the net, which is unfortunate for her because that was an amazing set from her knees, and that's not easy. You use your legs when you're setting. When you're on your knees, all you have is your arm strength. Super athlete right there.
There's just so many high IQ volleyball players in this match. The decision making has been stellar. Gray off the slide gets the much needed kill for the Panthers. She is one of the leaders on this team and leading by example with that play. Fairbanks now back to serve. Fairbanks really breaking out over the summer as part of that gold medal team, a U21 team that won the gold medal at the Pan Am Cup. Stuckey, oh, just thrown down, just absolutely crushed by Bree Kelly.
Probably being so aggressive, testing that middle of the court. And in volleyball, the middle of the court, there's always a hole. That's up for the wings to defend, but that's something that hitters always have their eye on for rolls or tips.
Gators season on the line, and they're playing like it so far here in the third. They have to win this set to stay alive. Gray out of the middle, perfect. Good set by Ennis as well.
If you're Ennis, keep feeding Gray. She's so good at the one, at the slide, behind the setter, in front, because she's accurate. She reads the hands in front of her, the defense, she makes things happen.
Gray, 6 kills now, 4 blocks, 4 digs. Stuckey, quick set. Was it touched? Yes. So Kelly got the touch, the Gators get the point. We have only had one challenge in this match. That was a successful win by Pitt earlier. No challenge on that touch. And instead, the Gators hit 20 points. Adams back to serve. Florida hitting .562 this set, only 1 hitting error. Gray, saved by McKissick. Beeson has to send that over. Fairbanks to Gray. And Stuckey with the kill, off hands.
Huge kill by Stuckey. She is such a physical setter, but that dig from McKissick, that just shows how much she's reading the court, getting a hand on it. Gators just so in system, unstoppable right now.
Stuckey, that was her 5th swing, 2nd kill. More importantly, it keeps the Gators in position to try to win this set and extend the match. Fairbanks, back set to Bazzario. And Bazzario crushes it on the right side for her 15th kill.
Pitt desperately needing that kill from Bazzario. Right now, Pitt's hitting negative, while Florida is hitting .588. The fact that Florida has had 1 hitting error this entire set, that's insane.
It's been a whole different team here in the third set. The stats have completely reversed. Florida playing with that recognition of knowing their season's on the line. There's no room for error for the Gators. Essex gets the Gators even closer to sending this to a 4th.
Mary Wise said it's all about that serve and pass. We need a good pass to let Stuckey run whatever offense she wants, allowing her middles to come through the middle and only having 1 blocker up against them.
Essex 4 kills on 6 swings, 3 blocks, having an excellent third set. Plica with a serve receive. Vasquez Gomez got the touch, point Pitt.
And Vasquez Gomez is that player that you think she's wailing the ball out. She's not. She's literally trying to barely hit the fingertips of Florida and force them to not be able to get that second touch and defend.
Bazzario back to serve now. Gators trailing by 6 here deep in the third. Panthers trailing by 6, excuse me. Stuckey sends it over, but Bazzario is waiting on it. Wow. Just such good defense. So hard to put the ball away on this court. But the Gators have done it better this set than they have the whole match. Still only 1 hitting error. And for example, they had 10 in the last set.
Markova not letting Pitt get too excited from that amazing up. She's just waiting at the net. And Pitt not able to get that second coverage down.
Stuckey's ready to go. Florida 2 points from sending us to a fourth. KO with a set to Fairbanks, and Fairbanks goes down the line but misses it, and Florida has its first set point of the match.
It's an interesting dynamic when you're a right side and a setter. Fairbanks hitting that ball out. She can't get too frustrated. She's the quarterback of the team. She's the one that's going to set the other hitters.
Stuckey serve just long, going for the ace on set point, but Florida has a nice cushion here as Vasquez Gomez will go back to serve for Pitt. It remains set point Florida. Pitt up 2-0 in this match at the moment. Stuckey with the quick set and the finish with an exclamation point by Gabby Essex. Oh my. So Mary Wise and the Gators, their season was on the line. They had to win that set. So what did they do? They won it. We are headed to a fourth set here in Madison as Florida responds with their backs against the wall, but their work isn't done. Pitt still leads 2-1. Well, moments ago, Gabby Essex getting that set-winning kill. That was her 5th kill on 7 swings. She's hitting .714 in the match, has 4 blocks and a dig, but it kept Mary Wise and the Gators still playing here in the NCAA tournament. What a turnaround, though, Shelby, from that second set to the third set for Florida.
This was a completely different team that we just saw in the third set. And to me, the thing that stands out the most by far, Florida in that set hit .571. One hitting error that entire set. That's almost unheard of. To do it against a team like Pitt, who just beat you in the first 2 sets, to come around mentally, emotionally, and physically, that just shows how mature the Gators are.
Still a little bit of a mountain to climb, though. Pitt up 2-1. For the Gators to win this match, they have to force a 5th set. It'll be Rachel Fairbanks from Pitt, the setter from California, ready to serve to start the 4th set. Wisconsin and Penn State waiting in the wings as the field house starting to get packed now. Bizzario off the net. Did it go in? Yeah. Fell in off of the net cord, and Bizzario will take it. That's her 16th kill.
And that overpass is an example for Florida of what happens when you make little errors. Florida played super clean that third set. It's all about keeping the ball on your side and serve receive.
Fairbanks coming off a triple-double against BYU in the last round. Stuckey with a set. Nice swing by Kelly off the beautifully placed set by Stuckey.
Kelly with her 7th kill of the match, making it look easy. It's like a machine with her approach, from her jump to the arm swing, everything just so in system.
Kelly's just added so many pieces to her game this season. Hits off the slide a lot more this year. Fairbanks setting Gray, and Gray again. You don't know where she's going with that, Shelby, but you know the ball's going to hit the floor.
And you know you have to have the platform out against Gray. Gray hits that hard that there really is no read. It's a reaction. Get your arms out, get them stopped, and try and point the platform back to target.
Well, our stats man, Patrick, just handed me the numbers on Gray, and it feels like she's had 20 kills. She's only had 7, but they're just so emphatic. Klicka, back set to Vasquez Gomez, into the net, ball still alive. She'll try again, this time into the Florida block. Other side, Bizzario with a tip. Stuckey keeps it alive. Markova, a lot of tipping in this rally. Bizzario, power. Out of the middle, Essex can't put it down. It's one of the longer rallies of the match. Gray stuffed. And Bizzario, perfect. Wow.
Bizzario finally putting that long rally down with her go-to line shot that she only uses when she means business. She loves her cross. She goes line when she says, okay, I'm done with this. We're getting this kill.
So she meant business there,
She meant business.
Ennis back to serve for the Panthers. Pitt up 3-1 here to start the 4th. Pitt wins the set, match over. Florida wins the set, we're going to a fifth. Another Pitt point with good defense.
And Gray only having 7 kills, you said it feels like she has more. That's because Gray is that X factor. She's that player, when she's on the court and she gets a huge play, a block or a kill, it changes the momentum for her team.
Serena Gray in the middle right now. Stuckey put it right over her. Fairbanks didn't see it coming. And a wise decision by Alexis Stuckey, the setter, on that attack.
Almost feel a little bad for McKissick, who Stuckey just slammed her hands after that one. But in adrenaline, I'm sure they don't feel it right now.
That is one of the characteristics of Stuckey. Mary Wise has told us, just the uncommon hand strength that Stuckey has. McKissick lays out for another one, and Markova hitting into the block, and this time they do stop Markova. There were 4 hands in her face, just was not going to get through that.
Markova's usually good at reading the block, but right here, notice how all the Florida players are sucked into the middle. Markova didn't have any coverage. I'm surprised she didn't go with a roller tip to be on the safe side.
So Pitt, good start here to the fourth. Adams kept that alive on the serve receive. Beeson goes corner, out. Point Pitt. Florida going to take a timeout as Pitt has gotten things turned around here to start the 4th set. The Panthers, 4 kills on 10 swings. They lead 6-2. If they win this set, they're moving on. Now the Pitt Panthers last year went all the way to the national semifinals. They're trying to get to the regional final today through the Florida Gators. They're up by 4 here early in the 4th set with a 2-1 lead. Winner of this plays the winner of Penn State, Wisconsin, which is still to come here in Madison. Stuckey settles under it, sets the middle. Wokolo kept it alive for Pitt. Vasquez Gomez. McKissick back to Beeson. Good up by Gray. Vasquez Gomez floats it over. Markova terminates.
Oh, what can you even say at Markova with that swing? You had to know that was going straight down. If there wasn't a defender right in that lane, there's no way anyone's getting a hand up. Look how fast she swings, how much her body literally snaps in the air. So powerful.
Even in slow motion, it's going like a rocket. Nice serve by Kanan, as Browski really didn't have a choice. She had to make a play on that serve receive, and Kanan now registers her 2nd ace. Kanan from Allen, Texas, comes in to play defense for Markova. Vasquez Gomez rolls it over, and Kissick and Kanan got mixed up there, and the point goes to Pitt. Little miscommunication in the back row for Florida.
And McKissick just getting caught in that seam. That's what you're supposed to do, though. The left back and the middle back literally cross in front of each other, and it's whoever the ball touches first gets the pass.
This time McKissick steps in front, receives it. Beeson down the line, targeting Klicka for the kill.
You know you're a confident hitter when you go right for Klicka. Beeson just being so strong. Right to your screen, look at this line shot open. She doesn't care who's right in front of her. If there's no block, she's going right down that line. Mira
Beeson now with 11 kills, 7 digs, a block, and 2 assists, littering the stat sheet. Vasquez Gomez with a lot of time. She's blocked, though.
Oh.
And despite an incredible effort, that is too many hits. And the Gators celebrate winning that point. But Dan Fisher, I think, is going to challenge this, because there was a little question as to how many hits were in that rally. And he hasn't officially done. He's holding the green card right now. So hasn't issued the challenge. He's threatening. And now he is. So we're going to go back and review that play.
And regardless, whoever gets that point, what a play. We are watching amazing volleyball, especially defensively right now. Bodies on the floor, hands out. And that's how athletic these players are. These crazy passes are going back over the net.
So again, the initial call was 4 hits. The point was awarded to Florida, and Dan Fisher going to have them review that play to make sure that his team did touch the ball 4 times, which is illegal. You can only touch it 3.
The jam's going on in Madison here. I'm not mad about it.
I do wish our audience could be here during timeouts, because it's one of the best timeout arenas in the country, the UW Fieldhouse. This is that play. So we're trying to figure out if they're 4. It looked like 3 to me, but I'm not qualified to make the call. So
watching Vasquez Gomez go for that ball,
all right,
it's incredible.
Let's see. 1. Well, not off the block. So there's 1, 2.
Wow.
3.
That effort is, you have to appreciate that.
Well, no, the call's being upheld. So the thing that threw Dan Fisher off was the block. And our official has determined that there were 4 hits. So they're still discussing it. Pitt will lose a challenge for the first time in this match, so they're down to 1. If this match did go into a 5th set, each team would get an additional 1, but you can never have more than 2. Florida hasn't challenged yet, so they still have their 2. So a break for Florida. And the Gators, let's see if they take advantage of it here. McKissick with a nice serve. Oh, what a serve by McKissick, her 34th ace.
I like the excitement McKissick's getting from her teammates. Everyone just playing so free, and that's the key, is who can play free and confident.
Well, your eyes are instantly drawn to McKissick when you watch Florida, just because of the reckless abandon with which she plays. Akeo setting Wokolo. She's blocked. Wokolo again. Not a second time.
That play shows the trust that Fairbanks has with Wokolo. Just amazing chemistry. And Fairbanks reading the block against her middle, able to see that there is a tiny hole. And Wokolo goes through there, perfect eye.
7 kills now for Wokolo. Pitt breaks the tie. They're up 1 here in this 4th set. Pitt, if they win this set, match is over. Florida needs to win it to keep the season alive. There's another attack kill out of the middle by Bree Kelly.
Florida looking really in system right now, and that big part of that is because they have the momentum on their side, and momentum is another thing that's contagious. That's something that carries you on to go through runs at the service line.
Stuckey with 35 assists. Fairbanks for Pitt actually has 35 as well. There's Wokolo again, and Wokolo with a couple of crucial kills here to keep Pitt in front. It was funny, Shelby, watching Wokolo in between the 3rd and 4th sets. You could tell she wants to be an attorney, because she was the loudest voice in the huddle, and she was in the faces making the case to her team as to why they could win the next set. It was really neat to watch. Flood targeting Canan. Stuckey blocked by Gray. Stuckey set Kelly, and Gray was right there waiting on it.
You can see why Dan Fisher said that Serena Gray is a fan favorite. From her attitude, her swag, and how good she is at blocking. She's incredible to watch.
Great interview, too. Very thought-provoking young person. Oh, that's a termination on the left side by Victoria. That felt good.
I love how after Stuckey gets the assist for Victoria, she comes over and literally shoves Victoria. What a celebration and what a kill. Victoria getting so high in the air and beating Gray and the right side.
I've really enjoyed that connection, seeing Stuckey setting Victoria this season, and that combination should be back next year as well. Akeo with the set. Ennis hit it hard, but Stuckey was there with a block. Again, Gators block. Stuckey, oh my! The no-look backwards dump, are you kidding me? That's on the highlight reel.
Stuckey getting Mary Wise so pumped up. I'm pumped up. Look at this dunk. Stuckey doesn't even look at her shoulder. She does not even look at the court. That just shows how aware she is and how confident she is and aggressive.
And it ties the score here in the must-win 4th for the Gators. Markova kept up by Akeo. Here's Fairbanks, blocked. Ennis. And Ennis with a lot of power hitting through the Florida block.
And Ennis testing that Florida block. It's going back and forth right now. Gators were in play though. They were blocked, looked good. They had their hands up, but they weren't pressing. You got to make sure you're strong against Pittsburgh.
So Fairbanks goes back to serve. Pitt holding on to a 1-point lead here in the fourth. Wisconsin and Penn State 30 minutes after this match. Markova tips. Lazario. Block goes out of bounds. Point Pitt.
Point to Pitt. I really like the effort from Klicka. Literally body on the floor, sliding in to make sure there's no way that ball was being in.
Well, what a fun match. The level has been so high today. Neither team coming out tight. So much on the line. A chance to make the final 8 here in the NCAA Women's Championship. And it's an ace. Fairbanks with a perfect serve.
Fairbanks going right in that seam, trying to pick on Merritt Beeson. And McKissick tries to step in. That's what bros do. They take every ball possible, but that platform was just not back to target.
Both teams now with 3 aces. Took a while to get the serving going for both teams. Stuckey setting the middle, and Kelly hit it in the net. Point is awarded to Pitt.
Serena Gray getting a lot of momentum going for her team. Even when she doesn't touch the ball, she's that X factor that Pitt really needs right now.
Fairbanks enjoying a nice service run for the Panthers. Targets Adams. Stuckey with a set to Beeson out of the back row. And Beeson unstoppable from there 5 times. 5 of her kills have come from behind the 10-foot line.
Such an aggressive approach from Beeson. And being in the back row, she really has that room, that time to wind up with a strong as approach as possible, being so aggressive from the 10-foot line.
12 total kills for Beeson today. Gators within 3. Gray out of the middle. She's posed such a problem. Good effort by Stuckey, but the Panthers will take the point.
If I was watching this match as a fan, I would just be yelling at my TV because there are insane ups going right now. The effort on both sides is incredible. I'm loving the energy.
Stuckey's still smiling. She had a busted nose earlier, had gauze in her nose, dove into the scores table just then. Love it.
I could smile all the time like that.
Good serve by Ennis. Nice receive by Adams. Back row Beeson. Good job by the Panthers to dig it. Joust. Beeson pushes it over. Gray was calling for it. She got it. Stuckey with a set to the middle. And net violation on Pitt. So the point goes to Florida.
Tough call for Pitt. That was an amazing up by Cam Ennis. One-handed dig. To be called in the net is just suffocating.
Stuckey back to serve now. Targets Browski. Gray went off speed. Just has such a massive jump. And Markova! I say it a lot, but it's true. She literally couldn't have walked the ball over and put it in a more perfect spot. That was the only place Pitt couldn't get to it.
Markova has the height, but she has the power. Left to your screen, look how hard she snaps her arm. It's one thing to be 6'5", it's another thing to be 6'5" and athletic.
Good serve. Lazario targeting McKissick. Here's Markova, rolls it over. Lazario blocked. Fairbanks back to Lazario. Oh. And Vasquez Gomez wins that exchange. What a battle.
That's what we said at the beginning of the match, was this was gonna be a battle at the net. So many tight plays right now, and both Pitt and Florida doing a great job at not giving up, making sure hands are on the ball, and then the coverage is right behind them, ready to get that pass.
We have crossed the line from intense to ferocious.
Ooh, I like it, ferocious.
Both these teams just brilliant to watch right now. Stuckey setting Beeson. Nice diving play by Browski to keep it alive, but Pitt can't get it over the net, and the Gators win the exchange.
This match is so much fun to watch because of these insane touches. The effort is insane. Look at Pitt. They refuse to give up. They're going to get 3 touches every single time.
A must-win set for the Gators. If they don't win this set, their season is over. Fairbanks to Wokolo. McKissick is there with a dig. Still alive. Bizzario. And Bizzario, it's still going. Stuckey dove into the Pitt bench. Vasquez Gomez. The ball hit the net and fell into the open part of the front line. Another incredible effort point.
Vasquez Gomez with the kill, but look at Stuckey going for the chair, getting that ball up and over the net again. Vasquez Gomez putting the ball down, but the effort on both sides is unmatched.
High efficient set as well. Pitt with only 1 hitting error this set. Florida with only 5. Remember, Pitt had 10 hitting errors in the last set. That was the only set they've lost in the NCAA tournament. Bizzario serving. Stuckey with a set to Beeson. That's creative. Let's wait a second. Not sure. Officials are going to confer as to whether or not that was touched and whether or not it went in. Up judge didn't make the call. He's asking that down official what he saw.
And no matter what the call was, Pitt did a good job of getting their feet to the line.
It is Pitt's point.
It's so important to get your feet literally on the line because then you have no doubt, is this ball in or out? In tournament time, when it's 50-50, you gotta be safe.
Mary Wise holding the challenge card, hasn't brought it out, but she's got it in her hand. The point was awarded to Pitt. And we are gonna see the challenge of that play. Mary Wise wanting to confirm that was the correct call. So let's look at it again. Bizzario didn't touch it. The ball went out. And so that's why the point was given to Pitt.
In my opinion, I think this ball's very out. Oh.
Question is, did
she touch it?
No, the question is whether Bizzario touched it.
I don't think Bizzario touched it, do you?
I don't think she did, but
doesn't matter what we think, apparently.
I was wrong earlier. Exactly.
You were wrong. No, we're never wrong, Sam. Come on.
It is the first time that Florida's challenged.
That is a good point. And Mary Wise could not have picked a really better time to challenge. Being 4 points down, your season on the line, I would do it too. And regardless on if she gets the challenge in her favor or not, challenges are also a free timeout to teams. That's when you can reset. Another look here.
So Bizzario, number 8 in white there, swinging, but did she touch it? Yeah, it didn't look like she did. Let's see what the official thinks. Confirmed. So no touch. Florida loses a challenge. They're down to 1. Both teams have 1 challenge right now. They would get an additional one if we go to a 5th set. But it makes the score 18-14 in favor of Pitt. Bizzario with 18 kills today, and she does have a service ace. Serves McKissick. Oh, that was easy. Essex said, yeah, that's just how you draw it up.
And that kill's not easy to drop. That's a lot of gym work by Stuckey and Essex. The last thing that comes to a team is the connection between a setter and the middle because it takes that many reps to get that chemistry going, but you can see it playing out perfectly right now for the Gators.
Essex 7 kills on 13 swings, no errors. McKissick back to serve. The Gators are close, but they have to win this set to keep their season alive. Pitt up by 3 in the 4th. Fairbanks tips it over, and that was a busted play, a little miscommunication there on the set, so Florida will take advantage of that. And Fairbanks trying to pick her team up now. McKissick with the serve. KO with a set to Fairbanks, and this time there's no mistake.
And Fairbanks is that player where if she makes an error, she wants that ball back. She's gonna get redemption, and not with a tip or roll, left ear screen with an all-out swing, going right through that split, super aggressive.
Pitt extends the lead to 3. We're going to 25, win by 2 in this 4th set. Pitt wins it, match is over, they're moving on. If Florida wins it, we go to a 5th. Beeson, plenty of time, dug up by Klicka. Ennis, blocked. Fairbanks tried to dump, and Stuckey just could do nothing but punch it over, and it went out. Point to Pitt, and it is Pitt who hits the 20-point mark first here in the 4th. Valeria Vasquez-Gomez. Serving Canaan. Beeson. Vasquez-Gomez kept it alive. Ennis. McKissick kept it alive. Victoria. Got high hands and got the touch. Point Florida. And that time Dan Fisher said, "Did you touch it?" And they said, "Yeah, coach." So no challenge there. He just smiled. And Florida gets the point. Florida within 3. Oh, what an atmosphere here right now in the field house. It is filling up. Vasquez-Gomez just has to bump it over. Stuckey with the set to Victoria. Dug up by Vasquez-Gomez. Middle kill by number 9 in orange, Bree Kelly.
Bree Kelly, the middle that Mary Wise said, just wants to set and dig. She's utility. She wants to do it all. And she can run through the middle. That one is her spot. Look at this approach, how fast she moves. It's like a machine, and only having 2 hands against her.
Bree Kelly with 8 kills today. What a women's basketball doubleheader we have for you Sunday afternoon, 1 Eastern. It's Louisville against Kentucky. And then at 3 Eastern over on ABC, it is number 6 UConn taking on Diamond Miller and number 20 Maryland. So an incredible women's basketball doubleheader coming up Sunday on ESPN and ABC starting at 1 Eastern. Well, the Wisconsin faithful with a little bonus getting to see 2 of the other best teams in the nation battling it out. Florida out of the SEC, Pitt out of the ACC.
And yesterday we saw Pitt do a drill in serving. The whole team would line up around the server and just scream, berate them to each other, which I'm sure they had some fun with that. But that's the practice that Dan Fisher said he wants his team to be ready for, and that's what he recruits for. Can these players play their best under those bright lights? That's something that all the Power 5 coaches, including Mary Wise, look at when recruiting these players.
Well, Pitt was in this situation last year and came through. They eventually went to the national semifinals, but Pitt got to play at home last year. In fact, they're the first team in the top 3 of the RPI since we went to the top 4 seeds hosting not to host. Fairbanks blocked. A KO, back to Fairbanks. She's blocked again. It goes out of bounds. And Fairbanks this time tools the block for the Pitt point, and they're getting closer to victory.
Fairbanks is a fun player to watch because of the emotion she brings. Some players hide it and some wear it on her sleeve. She wears it on her sleeve. You know what she's feeling, and she uses it in her favor.
Yeah, Fairbanks, you typically will see her represented in every statistical category. Cat Flood into serve now. Pitt up 3 deep in the 4th. Stuckey with a set to the middle. Flood tried to keep it alive and does. McKissick saves it. And a hammer of a swing by Victoria. Pitt couldn't stop it, and the Gators side out at a perfect moment.
Huge swing by Victoria. And Pitt's block looked good. Forehands pressed together, going over the. It looked great. Pitt did nothing wrong right there. It was that good of a kill from Victoria.
So Trinity Adams back to serve. She's been on some momentous serving runs this year for the Gators. Makeo with the set. Fairbanks puts it down. And a very good side out by Pitt, especially with Adams back there serving.
Fairbanks with the kill, going straight back to serve to get more points. And look at this swing, how she really turns her hand, drops her thumb, and points that ball back to the line. Great decision making.
Fairbanks back to serve, 35 aces this year. Targets Adams. Stuckey saved it. Yeah, but Stuckey went into the scores table pretty hard. Ball couldn't come back in play. She touched it, but the Gators dropped that point after a brilliant serve by Fairbanks. Here's Stuckey's effort.
I'm telling you, Stuckey's not going to stop running until one, she gets the ball, or two, a table is in front of her.
Another timely ace by Fairbanks. She's had 2 today. And Pitt is now 2 points from victory. They're still getting the scores table cleaned up. Now Florida decides to take a timeout. So it's crunch time right now. Pitt 2 points from the regional final. And Florida trying to hang on to keep their season alive. This is the first of 2 matches today here in Madison. And Shelby, I can't wait for the next one. Wisconsin and Penn State. Louisville, Oregon moving on today. It was Oregon beating Nebraska in 5, and that was funny when we got here. I was just walking around the field house, and I heard so many fans saying, "Hey, did you hear Nebraska lost?" And that's it's a big topic here in Big Ten country.
Huge topic, and all great matches, but I think a really sad sight to see for anybody was Lexi Rodriguez, the Nebraska star, bro jersey, just tears after the game, and she's a sophomore. She's constantly all over the NCAA Instagram for her insane passes and saves, but what a match that was.
Yeah, Nebraska is certainly one of the blue bloods in the sport, and Wisconsin getting ready to embrace the Badgers. These fans have seen their team make the national final in 2 of the last 3 years, and then last year finally broke through and won that elusive title. And it will be the Wisconsin Badgers against the Penn State Nittany Lions, one of the winningest programs in history. That's coming up 30 minutes after this match, not before 5:30 Eastern. Fairbanks coming off an ace. Pitt 2 points from the last 8. Joust at the net. And good play by Stuckey to keep that ball alive.
That defense is something Stuckey's been so good at all season. If the ball's anywhere close at all, she doesn't wait for her blockers or her defense. She takes matters into her own hands and tries to get up to battle at the net. She's down to battle.
Yeah, McKissick too, 14 digs for McKissick. Fairbanks with a set to Gray, and Gray had that look in her eye. Match point, Pitt.
Gray coming in for the 3. What a play by Pitt. So in system. And that 3, Gray just pulling all the attention away from her on the block.
The Florida season on the line. Pitt trying to go into the regional final. Stuckey with a set to Markova. Markova keeps the season alive for Florida.
And Markova keeping that aggressiveness alive too. It doesn't matter, it's match point. She doesn't care about a roll or a tip. She's keeping that same aggressiveness that she had that first set.
It remains match point Pitt. Good serve by Stuckey. Fairbanks with the set. Vasquez Gomez. Stuckey, Markova pushes it to the corner. Markova with 2 straight kills to erase 2 match points. Pitt still has 2 to play with, but Dan Fisher's going to take a timeout. Pitt has not trailed this entire set, and they are sitting on a 3rd match point after this timeout. They've lost the last 2. So Dan Fisher right now talking to his team, Shelby, and you just need one more point. So what are you doing right now?
Well, I would love to know, but if I'm Dan Fisher, the middle's been really working now, but that starts with that serve receive pass. So when Pitt's in system and can allow that offense to open up in the middle of the net, that's when they're being so successful, which means Serena Gray.
Serena Gray has been quite an impactful player. That's her up at the top of your screen now, moving to the right. And you'll see Serena Gray take her place on the front line, number 21 in white. There she is. Was an All-American at Penn State, finished her degree there, and then came over to Pitt, and has rediscovered her love for volleyball at Pitt, and is on the verge of taking her team into another regional final. For Florida, again, a must-win point. Stuckey will be back at the service line. The third match point coming for the Pitt Panthers. Good serve by Stuckey. Gray. Kept up by McKissick. Markova. Borowski kept it alive. Vasquez Gomez. Another dig by McKissick. Bazario. And Bazario sends Pitt into the regional final for the third straight year.
Only fair that Bazario gets the match point. The player who led the entire gym in kills, finishing with 19. So in system, testing Florida in every shot possible, making sure she goes off the hands, testing that Florida block. What a match from both Pittsburgh and the Gators. Incredible volleyball.
Pitt, despite being out-hit in the match, was able to outlast Florida. And the Gators, what a season for Florida, coming to a close at the hands of the Pitt Panthers. And Pitt is the first team here in Madison to make it to the regional finals. So Pitt will sit back and watch the next match as they celebrate here in Rec Hall. Well, we are not even close to being done here in Madison. Plenty more to come to fill the 30 minutes between this one and the last, including some coach and player interviews and a talk with Aaron Virtue of USA Volleyball. But for now, we celebrate the Pitt Panthers moving in to the regional final.